Hello, my friend. I am feeling a strange mix of excitement and dread. I'm curious if you're feeling the same as well. I definitely understand where some of the excitement is coming from, and I'll get into that in a minute. That definitely has to do with the astrology. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're returning. I do appreciate it. I am Darice of Illuminated, where I talk about astrology and the major transits, how it's infecting us. And mostly, I like to focus on how it can help us emotionally, mentally, spiritually grow on our spiritual path, help us do our shadow work, basically, help all of us become a better version of ourselves, including myself. And so today we have two really great things happening. We have Mercury stationing direct, although Mercury is still in Pisces. And so when Mercury is in Pisces, it can be very fuzzy wuzzy, very loose with the details. I've had a lot of weird, strange comedies of errors in my personal life and in my professional life, and my day job in particular. I've made really thoughtless mistakes. I've looked at things like six times and didn't catch the mistake until I looked at it the seventh time on reports. Um, Similar things have happened with one of my assistants who I can count on one hand in the 3 years I work with this woman, the mistakes she has made. But like the weird stuff, and that is what happens when Mercury is in Pisces, and especially when Mercury is in Pisces in retrograde. But thankfully, Mercury stations direct today, March 20th, 2026, and it will still be in Pisces until April 14th. So I encourage you while Mercury is still in Pisces, well, at any time, always double, triple check anything, the emails, the text messages, the contracts, but especially when Mercury is in Pisces, really be clear on the details. This is not the time to be multitasking. Most of the time, I discourage people from multitasking anyway, or task switching, as they call it, because I find it exhausting mentally myself. And I think there have been studies that prove that it actually does make your brain more tired. But it's especially true when Mercury is in Pisces. You want to slow down, you want to be present, you want to be in the moment and really just focus on one thing at a time. And that is actually what has helped me. It's helped me minimize the mistakes that I could have made during these past few weeks while Mercury was in retrograde. But we also have today the equinox. So Aries season is here. The sun moves into Aries today. This is the spring equinox. It is a new season and it's a new astrological season as well. And I actually love Aries because Aries is fiery. Aries is about passion for life, our courage, and also just how we really see ourselves, how we want to show up as our true selves. And Aries energy can help bring that out in us. And the other nice thing is we have no planets in retrograde until May when Pluto turns retrograde. So for these next few weeks, we have a lot of energy. It's pretty much all systems go. This is a great time to get things done. Um, so I want you to think about that. And I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to a lot of the things I want to continue to work on. And one of the things that I also wanted to check in on you with, and I might be looking at my notes as well, is now that Mercury has stationed direct, this could be a good time to reflect back on what the last 3 or 4 weeks have been like for you, what has come to the surface, what communication issues have come to the surface, what has needed to be renegotiated or reevaluated, and what have you learned from that? What has come to the surface for you? How have you changed in your communication style with others or one on one, or in groups? Have you changed your communication with certain projects? One of the things I did launch during this retrograde was my new podcast, New Sacred Mirrors. I'll put a link down to that below. It's free. And that was one of the things I experimented with. I had thought about doing it a few months before, and I went back to it during this retrograde because retrogrades are a great time to go back to things that you haven't finished in the past. So that's what I use the retrograde for. I also launched my private podcast, which people have access to when they join my Skool community, which is also Moon Life Illuminated as well. So that was what I did during Mercury retrograde, got those off the ground. And I'm really excited about that, really happy about that. I'm going to continue to grow in that area as well. And I also wanted to talk about, like, just in general, how what's great about using astrology and these changing of the times, the season. It's a great way to kind of plan your life out. So I like moving from equinox to solstice, solstice to equinox, equinox to solstice. So right now we're in the spring equinox. So this is a good time to begin looking at what you want to work on or what intentions or goals you have between the spring equinox and then now going to summer solstice. And then also then from summer solstice, what are maybe some of the major milestones you'd like to have accomplished between summer solstice and fall equinox, and then from fall equinox to winter solstice. So this is a good way to kind of map out your year, look at where you want to begin. I also want to highlight we're also coming off of this new moon in Pisces. I'm curious as to how you're feeling as about that. The new moon in Pisces, which was a couple of days ago, the 18th, but that was actually really helpful for myself. I got a lot of spiritual and emotional clarity. I felt a lot of emotional healing around that particular new moon. I set some new intentions for myself personally. And then now, between now and the next 6 months, I get to see how those intentions unfold. And that's going to culminate at the upcoming Virgo eclipse that we have on August 28th. And so, this is also these next 6 months. We're going to be seeing what came to fruition as a result of the eclipse season that we just came off of. So we had the eclipse in February in Aquarius, and then a few weeks later in Virgo. And so now we're going to see what's come to light. And it'll be interesting to see what comes to light on the collective level as well. And I think that may be where I'm experiencing some of this dread. My intuition is that next week, the last week of March, into the first few days of April, there is going to be something seismic. I don't know if it's going to be in a good way or a bad way, but I do feel like next week we're going to have some sort of experience that really transforms the entire collective. So we'll see if that comes to fruition or not, but that's what I'm feeling. And I think that might be part of the dread. And I'm bringing it up here because maybe you're feeling that too. Maybe there is some anxiety, or the people I've been communicating with, there does seem to be this sense of like, something big is coming and we don't know what it is. And A, simply acknowledge that. Because I think sometimes the tendency that we have is when we have those feelings, we want to push it down, we want to ignore it because we're not sure what to do with it. But sometimes it's easier to actually just sit with the feeling, allow it to be. Sometimes it actually lessens when we give it space to expand and then just move through. But it's also important to keep doing all of these self nurturing routines, as I like to refer to it, versus self care. So, of course, the things that people like to talk about, the bubble baths and taking a walk and being in nature and all of that stuff is important. But also, really, sometimes it's about actually giving ourselves space to feel our feelings and to have tools and modalities that help us move through the uncomfortable feelings. A friend turned me on to a great community that's about sound healing, and that's so restorative and healing. Or maybe it's breath work, or it's actual just doing therapy with someone, getting counseling, getting support. And I guess this is a good time to mention too that I still have my one-to-one sessions with people. I have my 30-minute witnessing you, where I get to really sit with you one-on-one, um, and give you the chance to see who you are or what's blocking you and help you move through some of those blocks. It's a smaller version of my longer You Illuminated session, which is 90 minutes. I call that an astral counseling session because I'm looking at the astrology of our times, the transits, and how that may be impacting you. But I could also look at some aspects of your actual birth chart if you have your birth chart information and your exact time of birth as well. Um, but mostly it's an opportunity for me to share with you all these different modalities that I have done throughout the years myself, And I use it as a way to basically to help people calm down, help them return to their center, and help them just see their own blind spots as to what's blocking them from living from their own zone of genius. I have a gift for being able to do that for people. And it's also a way to just really help calm down the collective. That is my contribution at this time. That's how I like to be of service. And I have my Skool community as well. So, and I'll have links down to all of that below for people as well. But that's what I really wanted to check in with you on, talk to you about, and let me know how you're feeling. And maybe in the comments, you can just simply put Equinox if any of this resonated with you. But also, I also wanted to really remind you as well that if you are having a hard time, we have a lot of stressful things happening in the collective. People are freaked out about a lot of things these days. And so I really want to encourage you to take care of yourself, get the support that you need, reach out to people, find support both online and in real life too. That's really important as well. I know it's very easy to spend a lot of time online, on YouTube, on social media. And yes, it is a way to connect with people. And it's one of the reasons why I love YouTube. I love that YouTube allows me to connect with people like all over the country, all over the globe. I love that my other social media apps give me that too. But I also have friends in real life in my actual physical community that I can go to. It's important to still have people that you can go to lunch with or, check out a movie with or, have like a girlfriend's night with. That sort of thing. Really cultivate that, maybe go to other events, go to I actually really like the Meetup app. Excuse me. Just had to take a sip of my mushroom coffee there, which I also really love, by the way. Recommend that too if you want to check it out. But yeah, I love the Meetup app because it's a nice way to meet people online, but then you actually meet people face to face. And I'm not sponsored by Meetup, it's just a great app. I also like Silent Book Club, which is really cool because you can, and again, not sponsored by them as well. It is a national group. But then I also have a friend who did her own version of the Silent Book Club, where what you do is you meet up and everyone brings their own book. You don't have to read the same book. Each person brings their own book, and then everyone goes around, talks about what book they're actually reading, and then you read in silence for an hour. And then afterwards, everyone talks about what they read. And it's a great way to find out, A, what people are reading, all the different things out there, and you get to learn who's into anime, who's into mysteries, who's into romance novels, who's into nonfiction, who's into like historical fiction. And I've been introduced to all different kinds of books as a result of that. And it's a great way to meet people in your actual physical community. So maybe that's something you could try. I know other people who like to foster animals, volunteer at different animal shelters. There's all kinds of things that you can do. You can volunteer at your local soup kitchen as a way to connect with people and feel like you're also being of service. Because that's also what I find helpful for me during these really stressful times is to be engaged in my community. One of the things we were talking about in my school community when we met earlier this week was the importance of just being creative as well as a way to handle the stress and the anxiety of our times. Take dance breaks, draw, sketch, crochet, knit. There's something really great about doing something with your hands when you're anxious or when you're stressed out, when you need to calm down. All of these things help us be more in our bodies, be more present, be more in the moment. And it's okay to give yourself permission to do all of those things, especially when horrible things are happening around the globe. And that's what you're seeing on the news. And that's what everyone is always talking about. Sometimes we can feel guilty about wanting to feel good and to enjoy our lives or to do something fun. But at the end of the day, you can't be sick enough to make somebody else well, and you can't be poor enough to make somebody else rich. I learned that from a teacher a really long time ago. So at the end of the day, you do what you can to make the world a better place, but you also need to take care of yourself And when you're happy, when you're at peace, when you are thriving, you also help everyone else on an energetic and collective level because energetically, we are all connected. So remember that. So when you feel better, when you give yourself permission to calm down, when you heal your nervous system, you're actually healing a bit of the entire collective as well. And do not take that for granted. Do not take that for granted. So that's basically what I have for you today. Hope all is well. I am wishing you so much love. And I just also want to remind you, please to like and subscribe to the channel. Please share this video. It does help me get the message out to others. And with that, remember to always honor the light within you.